we have another powerful, trend-setting and trailblazing woman, Kaneez. She will be sharing her journey through the world of improv and how comedy and improv. Okay, and up to Kaneez.
Thank you. Wait, what are we doing? Ooh. You also do improv, right? Did I get that wrong? Hi, thank you so much. Good evening. No, afternoon. Thank you. I got the time of the day right. This is off to a great start. Thank you very much, University Joyji, for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I am a comedian. My name is Kaneez Surka. I'm a stand-up comedian and improv comedian. And I want authenticity and the algorithm and just how to maintain your authentic on social media with all the changing trends and political climates and business models, etc., that keep arising every month now. Every month it changes, and we just have to keep up with these trends. And how do you keep being your authentic self? And I have the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I can see the things like, what? I have the answer, guys. It's bikini pictures. Thank you very much. That's my time. Thank you. Just bikini pictures. It's also doing dance reels in bikinis. Dance reels in bikinis. And then if you want to take it one. Numbers, comments. This is the answer to social media. And so thank you very much. On behalf of Joyajit and his emails, we'd like to thank you for coming to this talk. No one else needs to do. Okay. I fixed the problem. I fixed the problem. I have 14 minutes left. Okay. All right. Well, I guess luckily I have something prepared. No, to talk about authenticity, you guys, I want to take you through a little bit of the history of comedy in India, because comedy in India really coincided with the rise of social media entering India. Like when comedy started, that's when all these platforms entered India. And we were in a very unique position as comedians where we went straight onto social media. Like I now moved to New York and I'm in the New York comedy scene, and it's a very different trajectory for comedians there because they have to longer trajectory where they do open mics for 5 years, then shows for 5 years, then they get an agent, then it's a late night show, then they get into clubs. And that's kind of the growth that they have to go through to break through. But in India, we just have to have a viral video and we made it. That's how it worked in India. And because we got onto social media so early in the game. And I think that's a very unique thing that happened in India. And like when we started, we were just messing around. Like we really had no idea about what kind of numbers we were going to build, what kind of impact or influence. People keep using the word influencer. We had no idea. We were just, whether it was YouTube, Twitter, which now we get held accountable for. If, like people go back 10 years, they're like, you said this, and we're like, we were children just messing around. So at the time, it was just a lot of fun, and there were no rules. Remember the word content and algorithm. It was just us being our authentic selves on social media. Like if yesterday Ray and I were going through my social media from 2014, there was a post where I cooked fish. And I put up the picture of cooked fish with the caption, cooked fish. And that was my... Cooked, thank you. I was just putting up myself, and somehow that attracted a following by me just being myself on the internet. I'm not just talking about the cooked fish. Like I was creating properties like Mujhe Aas Karo, which is where I speak Hindi, way that I speak Hindi. और आप सोचो कनीज ये कौन कैसा हिंदी है ये जब मैं बोलेगा और ये सही है मुझे पता ये ठीक नहीं है मगर ये है. Thank you. Genuinely how I speak Hindi, and I made a property out of it. I was like, that is who I am. Also because I love improv so much. You know, I created a general fun game show on YouTube, which was so authentically me. It was originally Kaneez. I got to hang out with people I love and improvise a whole game show and make them improvise it. Like this was a very Kaneez, authentically Kaneez property that I created. And that's what we were doing in the beginning. We were just messing around and we felt so free to experiment, which honestly now I don't feel as free to do on social media. I don't feel as free to experiment. Maybe it's also because we grew into a popularity that we never expected and there's a lot of pressure. But I also think because of the algorithm restrictions, like it is difficult to get hard to be original with the restrictions that social media has now. But it was just numbers. We just saw numbers coming from, I don't know where. And we were like, what are we doing? How is this happening? And I remember as comedians, numbers started growing and getting larger. For us stand-up comedians who perform live on stage, this was just a means to an end. Like we were growing numbers and we were, those numbers come through to our live shows. And so for us, we were like, we need to be on social media because this is where we grow our live audience. Again, it wasn't a long journey of 10 years that we had to go through. Like we could tap into our online audience to come for our shows. So we were like, okay, we need to stay on this. We need to work these platforms because they're coming out to see us. And continued working online. I know some comedians were a little more visionary and understood the impact of the future of social media, but I know me, I was just like, I'm just going to continue making fish and posting about it. And then we saw this, after these numbers grew, we saw this business model grow around our numbers, around the influence that we so-called supposedly had on the internet. And we saw brands coming to us, pushing us and giving us money. Wow! And then we'll give you another, okay, hey, buy 5-star. Buy 5-star and fish. Just adding 5-star to my pictures and selling 5-star. And we suddenly, like, we were just getting money for selling these products, some of which I am not proud of selling, but we were like, hey, money, money, money. And then we became so rich. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, and just like, you know, champagne and women and men. For me, there were a lot of men. No, I am totally off tangent. And where are you, Kaneez? Business model. So, business model is a good word to use in a university. No, but we did. And he come in and we were like, oh, okay, well, great. Now we're getting people to our live shows and we're getting money for being online. This is amazing. So we started adapting to catering to these brands and doing what they needed and, you know, adding our humor and our flavor. And again, a lot of brands would come to us and just be like, we want you to be organically you, because we want you to like, we want authentic content. We want you to be you. They would say that and then they would say no to our authentic content. They'd be like, because that's when people engage with you. That's when our audience would engage, our followers would engage with us, was when we were being ourselves and a more organic feel to our content. And then in 2016, I'm going through the whole history. All right. So be prepared. If anyone wants coffee, there's coffee at the back there. 2 minutes? Are you serious? Oh my God. Okay. So then Netflix and Amazon came into, yeah? And they were like, yeah, oh, sure. And cheap content. Hey, comedian. Hey, chicken. Hey, come, we'll give you some. Then money. No, but it was really exciting because they did see the value that comedians bought, which is we are creators. We could create content. And we were not as expensive as Bollywood. Like they couldn't afford Richa, but they afforded Kaneez. And that for us, because again, I got to create a lot of authentic properties on these channels, my improv shows. Please check them out on Amazon Prime Video, subtle plug. But throughout this whole history, I realized comedians, even like during the pandemic, like we again just adapted. We just took whatever happened and we went streaming. You know, a lot of comedians started streaming. I started streaming an improv show. We started vlogging. And I really like, you know, Rega pointed out when I was talking to her about this, she's like, it's amazing how it's adapted across these trends, across these, you know, all these changing factors. We just kept adapting. And now I've noticed, actually, with the restrictions of social media, with the saturation that we see online, a lot of us have gone back to, and I think that's what I realized, like throughout this whole process, while we do need social media and while I still want to grow my numbers, social media, full circle, is a means to an end, to get people to come watch our live shows, because I realized as a comedian, my platform is the stage. That's where I feel my most free and my most authentic self. And I'm not going to let the algorithms and the trends dictate my authenticity and my worth as an artist. Don't get caught up in the trap. Thank you very much. Go ahead, huh? Thank you very much. Sat Sri Akal.